Express Truth back up in the building. Now, we don't usually touch on topics twice, but with this one, people are getting the message so confused that we have to revisit this topic. Now, before I start, I just want to say a speedy recovery to the traffic warden that was involved in the incident. He is completely innocent. Now, let me repeat that again for those who need to hear it again. He is completely innocent. Now, people need to understand that that this is not about race. This is not about religion. So Aryan Brotherhood, please stop leaving comments and sending messages and trying to call the phone. Aryan Brotherhood, stand down. This is not that. This is not that. This is not that at all. So, what I'm trying to say is that the traffic warden is doing a job for Birmingham City Council. They've put him in an area that is known for crimes. Now, there's a lot of people that are on the comments who are contradicting what they're saying, and it's so ridiculous. Now, wasn't it only 2 weeks ago that Ross Kemp was standing in Birmingham and saying how violent Birmingham is, and that he's more fearful for his life here than in Afghanistan? So this is what Ross Kemp said, a white man. He said that he's fearful for his life more so than in Afghanistan. So if that's the truth, then you have to understand that this young gentleman is a traffic warden. He's not a police officer. He's nothing. He's a traffic warden. His job is to give people fines. Now, there's a gang. What's alleged to have happened is that there was a gang standing around, smoking, drinking, and doing everything that gangs do. A car was parked illegally. The traffic warden attempted to put a ticket on the car. Now, what I was trying to say in the previous video is the traffic warden should have analysed the situation and knows to himself there is 15 guys here in an area that is known for crime. So before I hand them a ticket, let me call for backup, because I may hand them a ticket and they react in a way that is not normal, which is more than likely to happen in this type of area. So what he ends up doing is attempting to give a ticket. One thing's led to another. The guys have taken it too far. Now people are getting upset about me saying that I'm defending the guys and all this stuff. No, I'm not defending them. I'm speaking in street terms to those guys. It's nothing to do with race, nothing to do with religion. Now, before I continue, Noble's in the building. Let's hear his thoughts. Noble, what's going on?
Shalom, balance, paradise. What's happening? You broke it down very eloquently in the previous builds and what you've just said. He's employed to levy fines on people for contravening certain acts, etc. We know this. Most people very much dislike traffic wardens. Some people think, they need to be around for a purpose, because we can't have people parking everywhere. We know this. I think the way everything has transpired in regards to what we see on the video and stuff, tempers getting frayed, etc., egos, and people just went way too far. There should have been no physical. There should have been nothing physical happen to that traffic warden. Number one, £30 is £30. You know, if you are in a gang, etc., that's nothing ultimately. You know, if you're doing illegal activities, you're clearly going to be making money. For £30 is neither here nor there. You could have just given that there I said, don't even worry, writing the ticket. So it's very wrong for those young guys to have attacked him, and the consequence of their actions is being, is being dealt with, because one of them has been arrested, right?
Well,
Well, two of them, right?
Yeah, two have been arrested now. And
Um,
continue, Noah.
now I was just gonna say, it's, as you've said, you, in every job, especially if you're out in the public, you've got to do a risk assessment. You've got to look at the situation. You've got to analyze it. As you say, you're in a specific area. You're not like you're just in town or in a leafy suburb somewhere where you can just give someone a ticket and all you get is maybe a bit of verbal response. You've got to, as I say, you've got to do a risk assessment. Okay, there's a gang of these people here. I can smell illicit drugs in the air if that's what was taking place. Or I can see a whole load of people. How can I address this? I need to do my job. And there's some people who are very, very zealous in regards to carrying out their role and their job to the letter. And it's the way you do it. So you can present yourself in a way, look, I'm going to be giving, do you know the owner of this vehicle? Because I'm going to be giving it a ticket because it's illegally parked. Rather than me doing that, can you get them to go, to get the car and move it rather than me giving it, there's ways to handle it. So we don't know whether that's how his approach was, or whether it was the typical, I'm putting a ticket on this car. If you don't get moved now, the ticket's going on kind of thing. And if you're a youngster and you're not going to, things are going to come out of control and stuff. So we've got to balance out that, we totally wasn't there and we can only surmise upon the situation. How was it handled? How did he approach the situation? Did he properly assess the risk? Was the youth's reaction warranted? I think not, most definitely.
Correct.
Come to you, Brian.
And okay, based off the reaction of the video that we done, we actually are lucky enough to have been in contact with a fellow traffic warden who will remain nameless. But okay, let's for the Aryan Brotherhood, let me talk to them, because I don't mind sitting at the table and discussing with you guys. It's a dangerous job. Certain areas are more dangerous than other areas. What is it that people don't understand about that? Secondly, traffic wardens in their contract when they sign up for employment have a thing called a danger allowance, which means if anything takes place like this, they are paid a danger allowance that they sign up for because the job's dangerous. Certain other areas are more dangerous than other areas. Now, if you're working in the city centre, it's more than likely you won't be attacked because it's the city centre. There's a lot of backup around there, a lot of police. It's not going to take place, it's not going to go down like that in the town centre. Working in Alum Rock, and I'm not going to name other areas, but this is where the incident had taken place. Working in Alum Rock, you are going to get gangs of youth who are not going to be happy about receiving a ticket. Now, if it's that important to give them a ticket, call for backup. That's all I'm saying. Call for backup. What's so ridiculous about that statement? What all this stuff about how Muslims, all this stuff about Muslims and this and that. But I never once mentioned religion in the video. And let me just say this before I continue. I'm neither Asian or Muslim, so I have no horse in the race. I'm speaking from the traffic warden's perspective and the youth's perspective. They more than likely would have did that to anybody who was given a ticket on that day. What the warden should have done is called for backup. No matter how much times we in an ideal world, we would love that there was no crime, but we know that there is crime. We know that. We know there's crime. So we know that some people will not be happy about receiving a ticket on their car. Wardens are attacked time and time again. They only just don't make the news because it might not be as vicious as this attack. But people tend to not like wardens. Now, all right, let me give an example. I'm talking to the Aryan Brotherhood because they're going hard on this. When people take out finances and things on payment plans, if they're late with those payments, debt collectors come to your door. Now, these debt collectors know that trying to come to someone's door and request payment usually ends in confrontation. If you don't believe me, watch Can't Pay, Won't Pay. Go and watch that program if you don't believe me. So what they do is they make plan A, B, and C, which usually consists of cameras strapped to themselves in case anything happens, a direct line to the police in case anything happens, and usually they travel in packs, so there's 3 or 4. There's never one man going there. So let's stop pretending that it's not a dangerous job. Now, this guy knew. He's actually written a statement in the press today and said he attempted to put the ticket on the car, and last minute he pulled out because he realized that what could have happened when he seen the gang. He realized that it wasn't the right thing to do. He said that himself. How much more do you need to hear before you understand that this man was endangering himself? Of course, the area is volatile. It's nothing to do with race or religion. There's certain areas that you're going to have things happen like that. I actually had a conversation with someone who works as a delivery driver in that area, and he says that in the mornings, most drivers do not want to go there. Do not want to go there. It's just it's just simple. In one breath, everyone's watching Russ Kemp and saying how Russ Kemp's all these gangs and all these mans with guns and all this stuff, and in the next breath, everyone's saying, "Oh, well, they should be able to do their job." Of course, we should all be able to do our job, but the world don't work like that, and let's not pretend that it does. Now, before I bring you back in, Noble, I got one last thing to say before I bring you back in. The people in the area, when I spoke to them, that is just facts. There's nothing fiction about what I'm saying. The end of the day, if you commit a crime like that, you are going to raise hell. The police are going to come through there and try and find you because you've attacked a Birmingham City Council worker. Why don't people understand this? Like, I don't get why people don't understand. These guys are street guys. So what do you want me to do? Talk to them as though they're office workers. They're street guys. Someone who's willing to stamp on a man's head is not exactly a normal man, is it? It's a street man. So I have to talk to him as a street man. The man is not willing to listen to reason. So maybe if I speak to him in a street terminology, they will understand. Now they're understanding now because the police have caught 2 of them. And what did I say in the video? The area, the people in the area will have to serve them up on a plate. And look now, before we've even got to this next recording, 2 of them are gone now. The warden, unfortunately, will not receive any compensation. Based off of what I heard from the warden that I spoke to today at length, he won't receive no compensation. Very sad. But he signed up for that. It's a dangerous job. It's a dangerous job. So most of the Aryan Brotherhood who are commenting on our videos, yeah, you're the same ones who get aggressive when your car gets tickets. All this stuff about the right wing and the left wing, that's nothing to do with that. People are making me get emotional on this video, you know. It's nothing to do with that. Come through, no.
Prime. Listen, what are these? What is the points? What is the statement? What are they trying to bring forth? Because it seems like it seems like they're just trying to bring religion and this Islamophobia thing into something that's got nothing to do with nothing.
It's a
Video
very
went.
go on over. Sorry, 'cause I'm
Nah,
so
go
passionate.
go come true, man.
All right, look, I'm a big look. This is a very basic thing that's taken place. Yeah, the warden's in an area that is a dangerous area. Let's not pretend that the area. When I say a dangerous area, I'm not talking about Vietnam, or I'm not talking about Afghanistan, or even though Russ Kemp said it's like Afghanistan. That's a white man who said that. So let's talk on facts. I'm saying that the area's known as an area for. Let's talk on facts, yeah? Facts. High risk of car crime. That means that you're more likely to get your car broken into. You're more likely to get your car stolen. High risk of street robbery. These ain't numbers that I'm saying. West Midlands Police publish these numbers. High risk of street robbery. And so on and so forth. I don't want to run down the area too much. So if you're sending a Birmingham City Council worker into this area to give out parking fines, during training, he should know that sometimes it might be best to turn away from certain situations. Now that's one. Now, okay, if you really need to give them the £30 ticket, call for backup. Whether it be the police, security, whoever else. Now let's not pretend that people doing their job have not been killed in cold blood in this city before. Bouncers who guys have come to the door and just said, look, I ain't paying. I'm not paying to come in. Those guys have done their job. And where have they ended up? If they were to turn around and call for backup, they'd probably still be here, with all due respect. Sometimes it's not the best decision to take on these volatile people. Me, myself, I'm not going to take them on for a job. It's not worth your life. Now, this young gentleman, he we don't know a lot about his personal life, but I'm guessing he must have children or wife. Let's just say he has. If anything happens to their dad and their husband, do you think they're going to turn around and say, well, he lost his life in the line of duty? They're going to say, we wish young John, or whatever his name is, would have walked away. Live to fight another day? Why are people not understanding this? It's not rocket science. This place, the crime rate is high right now in Birmingham. It's high. It's not no secret. It's high. The crime rate's high. And you know what? You know what else? There's police cuts. There's police cuts. So you're more likely for crime to happen, and there's no officers to attend to you right now. That's just the reality of the city right now. Let's stop sugarcoating the thing. Let's stop sugarcoating it. The police there's been major cuts in the West Midlands Police. They can come on this show themselves. There's been major cuts, which means that when crime happens, there's a lot of delays in them getting there. So why should this man risk his life for this job? Why? I'm sure he's gave out plenty of tickets to normal civilians. I've had about 6 tickets myself this year. I have to just hold it, take it on the chin.
That's the difference, though. That's the difference between you and those young youths who are doing that. You're prepared to live civilized and to take it. If you've parked it illegally, unless there's like, whoa, I didn't know that, I didn't know that was a legal place to park, blah, blah, blah. You shouldn't have given me that ticket. Of course, you might want to argue your case, but how are you taking things physical, man? How are you stomping on someone's head and on stuff for £30 tickets? And then how have we got extreme lunatics in the comments? No, rather than just talking about what's right and what's wrong, we're bringing in all of a different kind of business to the table about people's nationality, people's religion, etc., etc. That's got nothing to do with nothing. Keep that kind of rhetoric to your local chat rooms and that kind of your little section. We come here to provide commentary and provide a balanced view and what's taking place in reality. We ain't hyping nothing up. We ain't taking no sides on nothing. The only side we err on is on the side of truth and trustworthy righteousness. So all of that is folly. All of that talk is folly. Truth will always be what it is. Them youths then were crazy wrong. Trustfully might the traffic warden, there's nothing long lasting with him. It's a Prime. How come he can't claim no compensation because he
All
signed
right.
some waiver?
All right, yeah. This. I spoke with two people who are close to the. Let's just put it like this, without getting anybody in any trouble. I spoke to two individuals who are very close to the incident, the situation, on the right side of the law. Danger allowance. Google that. It's called danger allowance. When you do a dangerous job, they take precautions because they know that if something happens, lawsuits can come. So what they do is they cover their back before you even do the job. So this man, they know traffic wardens are not exactly people's ideal. Let's just say they're not like your local lollipop lady, are they? They're not that. So people tend to show aggression towards these people. When they get tickets, they get a high amount, a very large amount of abuse. It's not no secret. The Aryan Brotherhood, they're doing things now without thinking. They're saying things without thinking. I got them in the comments. Like, I'm saying phone the phone line then. Like, we're not saying this man didn't deserve that. No one's blaming the city worker. The man's innocent. But at the same time, choices. I don't want to hear about, we don't live in this perfect world that people are trying to pretend we live in. There are people who are willing to commit crimes. That's just how it is. There's people who are willing to commit violent crimes for nothing almost. And sometimes you have to know to yourself, you know what? This is not worth it. A man who's willing to stamp on your head, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. There's more than, if that's the area that he patrols every day, he must know that himself. No one's blaming him. It's got nothing to do with race, religion, and if it's about that, if we're going to talk like that, the worst areas for attacks on traffic wardens are King's Standing, A, and B, Falcon Lodge. Now, who are the residents of these areas? It's not these, as the Aryan Brotherhood like to say, these immigrants and people that should be kicked out of the country. When you come to this channel, there's a phone number that is on the page. If you want to use it when you're ready, and we can state facts. Like I said, I'm not afraid to reason with these guys about this topic. The warden didn't deserve what happened to him. He didn't deserve it. I'm going to say it again. He didn't deserve what happened to him. But we know there are areas with high crime rates. Better assistance should be provided. That's all that needs to be said on this topic. No more needs to be said. Any internet trolls, or you're new to the channel and you don't understand how we move here, look in some of the older stuff. No one's safe on this channel. Anyone who commits any crimes will get put in front of the congregation. You see what I'm saying? Now look at the old videos when we're talking about certain serious things that have took place. We're not shying away from the issues, but let's just stop playing stupid. Let's just stop doing that. Now, once again, a speedy recovery to the traffic warden for the guys who committed the horrific attack. Punishment is due to come your way. Like I said, the OGs in the area, I said this in the first video, Need to pull them one side and make sure that don't happen again over £30. See what I'm saying? So until the next one, man, like, share, subscribe. And if you got facts, state facts. If you're not stating facts, don't comment. If you don't like the reasoning that takes place here, we've been going for so long with a small, little, respectful crowd. If you don't like what's going on, keep it moving, man. Go and listen to some of them old Hitler tapes that you've been listening to. But don't come on here with the nonsense. Old washed up folks as well that are coming on and talking rubbish. Provide facts. Provide facts. Because if this man had died, people wouldn't be saying what they're saying now. This man's lucky to still be here. Anything could have happened. Like Ross Kemp just said the other day, how it's a war zone. He's standing with a bulletproof vest, bulletproof hat in the middle of Birmingham, crying and saying how it's this bad and such and such and such. Treat the city the same way then. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, share, subscribe.